My name is Jessica, and I am the youngest woman ever elected to run an Oddfellows Lodge in the state of California. The Oddfellows, like the Masons, the Shriners, the Elks, they're all known for being male, pale, and stale. When I joined my lodge in the heart of Silicon Valley, it was empty. More than 10 hours a month, nothing. Heart of Silicon Valley, downtown Mountain View, they had nothing happening except a couple of business meetings with Robert's Rules of Order, which obviously we all love. But why not fill it up with our community? Why not use the immense economic privilege of that space, of the nearly $1 billion of property that the Oddfellows owns in the state of California, to benefit our communities? Since my friends and I joined 18 months ago, we have added a bi-monthly transgender inclusive board gaming group. There's a LARP festival happening right now. There is a quarterly Muslim women's immigrant dinner group. We host a writing group. We host a pagan group. We host awesome foster kids learning how to cook in our kitchen on the weekends. It's 70s-tastic, but it works. Now, I'm able to join those spaces because I have a whole network of different kinds of privileges, but I can kick my foot in the door and open up those spaces for members of my community who need that space in 2019, and so can you. Every single person in this room has a fraternal order somewhere in your state, probably in your downtown. I'm going to talk you through how to join them and how to work within them to make the kind of change that we're all talking about here today. Oddfellows lodges have a pretty simple structure. You've got your lodge, that's that kind of rundown building in your downtown. You've got your district, which is kind of like a county. You've got your Grand Lodge, which is the state level, and you've got your Sovereign Grand Lodge, which is the national or the international level. Now, it's not all parties and having fun. There's significant cultural challenges. For example, as a queer woman, I've had to spend the last month convincing members of my order to not use a queerphobic word that refers to the facies, which you can see on the US dime. It's a bundle of sticks. There's another word that starts with F that people can use for a bundle of sticks that I have requested they don't, and that the head of the order in California has made an official declaration no one else can. A conversation that wouldn't have happened if my queer self was not on the table, right? Right? Because we're on the menu if we're not at the table. So there may be issues when you join your lodge. They may not be financially stable. The buildings may be kind of run down. My building's doing pretty well for a 1909 former bank, but the linoleum's awful, so we're fixing it. You may struggle with the sequential officer roles because it used to take 11 years to start from the lowest officer role to the highest. It took me 2 years, but your mileage may vary. And my cell phone number is about to go up there because most of the new member orientation was designed before Wi-Fi existed, so it can be a little bit of a struggle, so feel free to hit me up. I would be happy to walk you through some of the weird language stuff. Next up is how do you actually join a fraternal order, not just the Oddfellows, but any of the ones I mentioned. First, they're going to require a sponsoring member of some kind, so go to one of their public events. Hit someone up, ask if your NLC chapter can meet there for free. Right? 501c3 shouldn't violate any of the rules. Most require a belief in a higher power. This excludes a lot of atheists. It doesn't necessarily exclude people who are from other faith traditions. The man who recruited me into the Oddfellows is an Orthodox Jewish man. The first man I recruited is a Hindu man. But this can be a significant barrier for those who aren't people of faith. Many lodges have internal degrees, so once you're a member, you can kind of work your way up. They're kind of called secret societies sometimes. They're not that secret, it's not that fancy, that's why I'm presenting here today, right? So once you work your way through, there are elections at the state and national level. The person who recruited me in is within 3 years of running the California order. So you can work your way up and have some significant control and conversations in these spaces. These lodges are already in our communities. They're male, pale, and stale in the heart of many of our downtowns. And whether they continue to be that way or not is really in our hands. Whether we are able to join them, join benefits committees, find ways to do the direct cash transfer that is the heart of most of their theories. So that's a very 19th century model. I'm on a committee that gives out $30,000 a year in direct cash benefits to members. So it feels like a new thing, but it's actually a pretty 19th century model. So there's significant challenges. You may have to deal with a lot of biases. Intergenerational work is always hard. But if you're able to, consider joining one of these orders and consider turning them from spaces that are male, stale, and pale into our civic spaces. Thank you.